That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass YouTube broadcasting off the no land, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tommy C, and this shot for the point. Alright, suckers. Some of you asked me to do this when there's nothing in YouTube land, gaming land, that really interests the hell out of me. You've requested I've done, and I did something else on Trump. Something on politics, hard politics, stuff like that. But politics isn't really my thing. I touch on how much I can't stand identity politics, but very, very rarely is it hard news. And if I do step on hard news, it's usually something I can relate to the military. And this particular Russian meddling thing, being like 9/11. And by the way, I'm not just sitting up here and saying, some people are saying it's just like 9/11. I'm going to show you a video, and I'm going to let Fox News name the people that are actually making this ridiculous comparison. And I'm also going to show you that this is nothing new, that cyber warfare and subversion, not only from Russia, but a host of our enemies, and in some cases our allies, is a daily chore for our intelligence agencies. And not only that, we do it to them too. This is not a big deal. Not only is it not a big deal, not only do we do it to our allies, do we do it to our enemies, and our enemies do it to us, this is daily life. This is what countries do. This isn't a shock. When I joined the Army, I became familiar with cyber attacks very intimately. I would get reports on do's and don'ts and certain websites that were supposedly put up there with the idea that soldiers would hit them and that would give them access to certain sorts of computers and or information. This was always going on. This was never not the case. It is 24/7, 7 days a week. This is what our intelligence agencies do, and why I don't have intimate knowledge of it. I think ours do it as well as theirs. This is the intelligence community, and this is the new part of the intelligence community being at cyber warfare, because it's actually more effective than sending an aspire, an information collector, or anything like that. What has happened over the past couple days, we have found out that Russia has supported both Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, and the Donald Trump campaign, and promoted all of them to create discontent with the democratic system, to create discord. So us, the Americans, I want to say just the Americans, probably the whole Western world, will lose faith with our democratic system. And I'm going to report to you that an operation that probably cost, if it cost $1 million, which is nothing, I'd be shocked. Because the type of things the Russians did, or starting rallies, putting ads on Facebooks, this is legitimate subversion. This is legitimate. This is an attack. But if I had to guess, they've done it in every single election. And I'm sure they were during the Soviet era. This is one of those things that they throw a little money at, the Kremlin throws a little money at, and it more than likely won't work. But if it does, great, because it's just there's so little overhead with it. There's so little, it's not that much money. It's nothing. But for some reason, this one, the public knows about. They don't know about the tens of thousands of cyber attacks on our military, on the IRS, on the FBI. which is just daily life, it's this one. So why this one? I'll tell you why it was this one. Because this particular event, and why the only reason we got to the bottom of it, because a lot of this is just assumed going on, was brought about by the ridiculous accusation that has zero merit, zero proof, zero nothing, that Donald Trump colluded with the Russians to somehow fix the election. So we have a special prosecutor, Mueller, and he goes digging in to make that connection. Very Stalinist, if you ask me. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. But in this investigation, he finds out that not one American reported by the Mueller investigation participated in any of these events. Not one. And not only that the Russians supported multiple candidates. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. Why would they do that? They don't care who gets in office. They were trying to create the discord, which they successfully did. How were they able to do it? They got lucky. The Democrats lost an election that they thought they had in the bag. And to this day, 13 months after the inauguration, they still can't figure out why they lost. So, in January of last year, actually I should say in November and December of last year, they decided it was because of the Russians, with zero evidence to back that up. But all that screaming and yelling caused this investigation. So we got to the bottom of something that was happening probably in every election prior. And it's being presented to us like it's 9/11. Which is a joke and an insult to the people who died in 9/11 and an insult to the people that fought in wars related to 9/11 for the next year, for the years after. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. And the only reason they're saying that is because they're so fucking embarrassed. Especially, and I'm speaking to the Democrats. They're so embarrassed that this had nothing to do with Trump. They were so sure. No, it couldn't have been that candidates sucked. It couldn't have been that your party went hardcore in identity politics. It couldn't be that you didn't campaign hard enough in places like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. No, it's the easiest cop-out in the world. It's the Russians. We sound like McCarthyites in the 50s. So they find this little, Russians were posting ads on Facebook. Let's get a special investigator and let's pin it on Trump. And the fact of the matter is it had nothing to do with Trump. Because of the Democrats, this campaign to create discord in this particular election was successful. That's what we got to the bottom of it. This isn't 9/11. This is basic, bare bones, not even costing that much subversion from our enemies. It's nothing. It had no effect on the election, according to the Miller report. Cyber warfare, this type of stuff, is daily. It's happening right now. I can tell you from personal experience. I just can't tell you what those experiences are. It's that simple. It's constant, every day. I remember we got reports when we were about to deploy, after we were deployed, when we were downrange, attacks in Wiesbaden. It was all the fucking time. And sometime they got through, sometime they didn't. Eventually everybody gets through. And I'm sure we're doing the same thing. I only know it from the defensive standpoint. I'd get a message, don't do this, don't go on there, here's the thing. And I'd whisper to somebody, what's going on? It's an attack by this country. So we got to be careful. I remember watching a news report on Fox News after an attack that I was aware of, and they got everything wrong. Everything wrong. It was funny to watch. They got the place wrong. They got the reason wrong. The only thing they got right was the country who did it. It's daily. It's every day. Hate to say it. No, you say I overuse it. The 9/11 thing is a red herring. It is getting you away from the fact that this Mueller investigation, which uncovered something completely different than what it was supposed to. Oh, what was it supposed to do? It was supposed to provide enough evidence to overturn a legitimate election and impeach Donald Trump. That's what it was supposed to do. That's all it was supposed to do. What we found out, what we got to the bottom of, what we spent countless dollars on, was a small operation by the Russians to create discord inside among the American people with their electoral electoral system. That is just it wasn't even effective until the investigation took place. This would have just flown under the radar. Nobody would have cared. Couple rallies, couple posts on Facebook. CNN got sucked into one of these rallies. Michael Moore got sucked into one of these rallies. They funded a Bernie Sanders rally. I don't believe that Bernie Sanders took money from the Russians for a minute. Knowingly. Don't believe it. They don't care who's president. They're trying to get our country to fall apart. And it wouldn't even have been an issue. It wouldn't even have been affected. One of the organizations was called Woke Blacks. That's the Russian. I mean, because the Russians are completely out of touch. It's a cultural thing. It's in our advantage. But the reason this particular one worked, it's not because the way it was applied. They probably have a million of these things. All sorts of types of operations. They don't even invest that much in it because they know more than likely it's not going to be successful. It's just like playing a lottery. Well, they hit the fucking jackpot. Because the Democrats simply couldn't accept that they lost. That's it. They couldn't accept that they lost. They still can't accept that they lost. They still can't accept that the last 8 years of Obama wasn't that great for absolutely every American. In fact, it was great for damn few. So you're going to have to come to like, the last 8 years, Obama was a popular president. But how good could he have been if fucking this wacko Donald Trump got in? And then you're going to have to say to yourself, Hillary was a terrible candidate. And the American public rightfully thought she was corrupt. It's a shot from the point, bitch. $10. Having trouble getting with a girl and a kid. I'll check that later. Come on now. I can't draw that now. Come on now. I'll open the phones up 100% and you can make the call. Thank you so much for the donation. I can't stop this train. What's the matter with you? Got to keep it rolling. Rolling. So no matter what you hear about this being a 9/11, you're either talking to people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to the intelligence community. And when I say that, I mean all of them. Our enemy, our allies spy on us too, by the way. We spy on the Germans spy on us. Yeah. It's every day. It's every day, bro. The degree to what our allies, it's to the degree. Our allies will only spy on us so much, right? Our enemies will go to the next level. That's it. That's as simple as I can put it. This is nothing. This is the byproduct of a witch hunt. That's all it is. This is the byproduct of a group of people that can't understand why they lost. They can't understand that their ideas, that what they presented to the American public was rejected. Pretty much everywhere outside of California. No, we didn't lose. It was a conspiracy. Kind of like that guy that called in and frozen me the other day. It wasn't because he made another jackass of it. It wasn't because he froze. He's told people that I've used trickery and a soundboard. The only trickery I used on that geek character was asking him to explain himself. And I got this. And then he got kicked off, just like everybody else does, when they can't get to the point, and they're a prick to me. That's it. It wasn't the fact that he came in and got caught flat-footed. Even at one point in the call, he says, yeah, I know you're going to tell me you're crunched for time. And I'm sitting there, wait a minute, we got 20 minutes left in the show. Go ahead. Get to the point. No, it's trickery. You're a piece of shit. Okay, I'm a piece of shit. Tell me why deplatforming fucking nuts is a bad idea. It's not every day that people admit they're a piece of shit. All right, get to the point. I have nothing to say. Frozen. And it was trickery on my part. That's the same reaction we're getting from the lost Democrats. They didn't lose to Donald Trump because he outworked them. That his proposals were more acceptable to the American people, admittedly not by much. It was the boogeyman. The boogeyman. The boogeyman game. How could anybody reject someone as likable as Hillary Clinton? Easy. She's a crook. Let me give me another thing about having clearances. I can't imagine the high-level clearance the Secretary of State does, but it's like this. All networks that are secret and above are on the same network. They cannot be touched. They can't be put on any other computer in that network that is not ID'd. I can't take my own laptop and plug it into a secret network. All right? Hillary Clinton, somehow, and I can't imagine what level, had that piped into a computer like this on the regular internet. And she wasn't arrested for it. They tell you when you get a clearance in the military, if you pass along classified information knowingly or not knowingly, you're going to jail. You're going to get prosecuted. Except for Hillary Clinton. I was told some of my Army buddies when there was a running gag during that period of time when they were training soldiers and some of the things that I used to do. You ain't Hillary Clinton. That's what they say. In other words, yes, there's a double standard. And she wasn't prosecuted. And my guess is there's a decent amount of Americans that kind of knew that she got off the hook by not getting prosecuted. Because, oops, I made a mistake is not acceptable when it comes to classified information. Knowingly or unknowingly, you're going to jail. Unless you're Clinton. So, I will finish with this and I will open the phones to absolutely everything in the next 2 minutes. When you start hearing that this is the end of the world, don't get sucked in. It's not. It's every day, bro. It is a diversion, so you don't see this stupid investigation for what it is. A witch hunt to impeach Donald Trump that just got a little more unsuccessful. Now, having said that, this ain't good. We have to take care of these things. It's not a good thing. It's just not as big a deal as they're making it. And if Mueller wants to take his time and hunt these guys down that are trying to attack our country's democratic system, great. But I'm not going to get really fucking all up in arms over this. I'm hearing all these Democrats cry and whine, this is terrible, this is horrible. Ask them if they would at least allow ID checks when you go to vote, and you'll get a different story. They don't agree with ID checks when it comes to voting. No. And not even now after this whole Russian scandal. So I just can't take them very seriously. But you're oppressing minorities by asking them to show their ID when they vote, even though you can only vote if you're an American citizen. Displaying that fact is somehow racism. I'm sorry. When you start saying this is 9/11 in one hand, saying this is an attack on a democracy, and you'd fight everything you can from state checking to see if someone is voting legally, don't buy it. In the Discord, link is in the description box below. I'll take anything. Open it up. There's not a lot of social media news that interests me. I'm more interested in you. I have an announcement. We are now on SoundCloud. The link is in the description box below. All podcasts, as of 3 days ago, are now downloadable and listenable on SoundCloud. Soon to be on iTunes, and that will be updated as we get on more media sources. I have no reason to believe that we will not be approved. I am super excited. I dropped $100 on it today. So, you want to start downloading the podcast? It's going to be a little tough for you to see what we're doing. Catch them live here, download them there, put them in your iPhone, whatever the fuck you're doing. I don't know. And you can start listening to it because it's essentially a radio show, what have you. There you go. I'll let you know when it's on iTunes. And that people have been asking me to do this for years. I want to shout out the person that helped me at this. I think he's 24/7 Discord. Yes, the 42-hour Discord. And he wouldn't take any money from me. I even offered to buy him a game. Nice kid from England. Thank you. I appreciate it. The 42-hour Discord. And I think, let's see, the 42-hour Discord. The fuck? Oh, yeah. This is how you do it. You go to sys server, members, the 42-hour Discord. Congratulations, you are officially a known fuckhead. That's what you get when you help out Shopping the Point. Okay. Luvix, you're on the air. What up?
All right. It seems like, why does it seem like on the left they always make these silly comparisons, like, oh, this is 9/11, oh, you're racist, and it seems like a poor argument instead of just explaining logically why something is wrong or bad.
You're not going to get anybody panicked. It's called fear mongering.
Yeah. And I think it's a bit stupid.
Look, people, you don't motivate the people go out and vote or get angry or even get on your side by speaking calmly, telling the truth. And the thing is, when your motivation and only motivate, the only thing the Democratic Party has to offer is resist. And that means the impeachment of Donald Trump. That's it. It's fear mongering. So the reason they're not doing it is because, I don't know, they don't have the best of intentions. They only want their power back so desperately. They continue to lose because of behavior like this. There's your answer.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right.
I guess.
Okay, go ahead. You got done? Go ahead.
Crap, what was I going to say?
No, you can't do that.
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
Take care, Lubex. Have a good one, buddy. Peace.
All right.
Nick Wynn, why would you jump in this conversation?
I have some things to say about politics.
Go ahead.
So, you said the Russians don't care who gets elected. They vote for all three.
God, no.
But
in fact, they proved it. The Mueller investigation proved it.
Right. But in the local actual media in Russia, have you seen the way that Trump has been viewed and marketed there?
I have no idea. I don't think it matters.
So, well, surely it does, because basically what I was going to get to is that Russia views Trump quite positively in the local media, and the general Russians, is that they think he's quite good.
Well, that's fantastic.
They see him as a positive thing.
That's fantastic news. I don't know that shows that there's any kind of collusion. And I don't know that Trump has been all that great to the Russians, especially kind of fucking with them in Syria a few months ago. Remember when I did the...
did.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. So obviously the initial views before the election particularly were very, very positive. That's changed a bit after he got elected, and now it seems to be getting a bit more positive again.
Sure. Well, and actually,
the whole point is that.
But you know what? You know what? Actually, Trump is actually 2 points ahead of where Obama was this time last year. All right, percentage points in the average of pollings is what have you.
That's pretty good.
That tends to be what happens to all presidents. They have the big thing, they get elected, everybody finds out they're fucking don't walk on water, they dip, they come up. This is the normal order of things. If I had to guess, that is probably very much the way they're viewed around the world as well. If I had to guess. Also, let's not discount the super ultra macho culture out of Russia, and let's discount that Trump does display kind of a chest beating sort of macho attitude. I think that would probably go over well in the. I would imagine that would go over well. I don't have any evidence.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. So looking at what people have done in interviews with Russians and even Russia itself, they've been saying one of the good things is they view him as very powerful because, as you say, it's culturally in Russia, they like that kind of power thing. Yeah. And I think because of how positively they view him and even seeing that, do you not think that there may have been more bias with the hacking towards Donald Trump in any way?
I don't know. I don't know that it matters because it didn't affect the election one way or another.
Oh, of course it didn't.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
It's like
hypothetical,
I think it's just one of these things that they did. It's just a crapshoot. It's a dice roll, you know.
Yeah.
And the only reason it ever became an issue, the only reason we ever discovered it, is because of this ridiculous investigation in the first place. It played no role.
Yeah.
It was never going to. How do you send a couple guys with a few $1,000s overseas to start wokeblacks.com or whatever the fuck they did? Bernie Sanders, Trump rallies, getting CNN involved, getting Michael Moore involved, and expect anything to really come of that with a country of 300 million people. I don't think I bet the agents that got the job are like, oh, fuck, we must have screwed up if we got this dumb job. Like, we're going to impact this and we're going to turn America upside down. The only reason America even got a little turned upside down is because they tried to pin this thing that, I got to be honest with you, I would not be shocked. It happens all the time. And I could speak from personal experience with cyber attacks that it does happen all the time. It's 24/7. Oh, by the way, it's corporations, too. You guys are attacked more than we are.
I know. I mean, if you have a look, as you're saying, about like the attacks which are going on around the world, there's two places that most of them are originating from. One of them is Russia, and the other is China. They're constantly attacking and trying to hack everyone all the time.
I can't speak about that. What you just said.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
All I'm saying is that's why.
Due to my role in the military. That's what he said. I'm going to say that you should listen to Nick.
Very, very good. That's lawyer speak.
That's listening. You know, I just don't want to get I don't want to even chance the fact of somebody, you know, calling me into post. Even though it'd be a long shot. But what Nick is saying is what's reported in most newspapers around the world. Let me put it, that's why I can do this. Nick is saying that this is being reported in most newspapers around that China and Russia are at the top of the list. I'll tell you who's number 3 offline. No, I can't.
Yeah.
It's an ally.
You
know what number 3 is? It's an ally.
Okay, I've got an idea. I'll have to have a little look at some data.
I'm gonna tell you. No, I can't forget it. I don't know because I don't know if I'm on dangerous ground right here. Dave would be able to tell me if I'm dangerous ground. You know, right here. Dave's telling me if I'm dangerous ground. I'm not trying to be all secret and James Bond is. I just don't know what I can and can't talk about, so I'm just being ultra safe.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. I could probably tell you offline, but I just don't know. It's Antarctica. Holy shit, the guy got it. All right, Nick. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Nice one.
All right, take care, man. Nick, staff member, good guy. No, I don't think. I don't believe. You know, in fairness to Nick, that's my opinion. I don't think they care one way or another. Nick could be right. Maybe there was like they were hoping Trump was going to get elected, but they did it all 3 ways. I don't know how much that matters. All I care is the election was legit, and it looks like it was. They weren't able to sway that many people, and even if they did sway people, how do you count the people they swayed? That woke blacks swayed. I just don't know what I can and can't talk about. All right. Let's talk to Wolfenstein 6.0. Wolfenstein 6.0. You've never called before. Usually when they call, the first-time callers, they never get it right. They never test their headphones. They just come in like that guy did. This guy. This guy knows what he's talking about. His name is Gay Retard.
Hello,
Go ahead.
Tony.
Go ahead, Gay Retard.
Oh, you said it. You didn't. I don't know if you said you didn't like Obama, but you didn't think he's great as everyone said he was.
No, I've never been a fan of Obama. I thought I was pretty upfront about that.
Yeah, I know that, but why? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I mean, he doesn't believe in like one single thing that I believe in. I believe he was a closet socialist. And you know, a lot of the problems we're having in schools right now, this is something that I think affects me, was led to Gamergate. It was the Title IX thing, where he ordered these.
The Maverick merch is pretty bad right now, dude.
What?
I think Obama did the Maverick merch. I'm pretty sure Obama was behind that too.
Yes, he was behind the Maverick merch. Yes, that's it. That bothers me. No, I don't think Obama improved our way of life much better, and I find it ironic that one of his first acts of president was to bail out Detroit, and Michigan went the way of Trump. I don't think. I mean, black unemployment was garbage under him. I guess a lot of people thought because if we were going to have black president. I guess all the world's problems we solve. Turns out he's a man like you and me, and he's just another average president. He didn't win the second election by all that much. That was a lot closer than the first one, and it was just I think of the Obama administration a time of mediocrity at the best. At worst, it was he got involved with our colleges, reissued Title IX. Now we have now the colleges give rape trials because of these Title IX changes that he was a part of.
What is Title IX?
Title IX, it was initially a sports. I can't get into it. Title IX was initially it was like a sports order for colleges that were getting money from the government, and they said you're going to have to put as much money into the girl sports as the male sports. What it is turned into is the SJW's a club, and Title IX just seems to encompass everything, including being charged with rape, not by a cop, by your having these like sort of kangaroo courts where you can't face your accuser. And that was because of Title IX, something I hope Trump gets rid of in the coming future. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't miss Obama at all, and I don't think he was a very good president. I don't what?
Said neither do I.
Yeah, I don't miss him at all. Was never a big fan. I've never been impressed with somebody who did something quite incredible, become the first African American president, and pretty much that was the last thing he accomplished. I don't know. I have someone who works at Border Patrol, and he made his life a living hell. I mean, basically ordered them not to enforce the law. I don't think much.
Oh yeah. Did your friend ever catch? Did your friend ever catch Jesus Escobar?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, it blew up. Yes. Bye. Newest whaler, you're on the air.
Hello.
His name is Gay Retard. Okay, I'm good now.
Oh.
What do you want?
The second gay retard. Firstly, I want to tell you that your chat face on the YouTube doesn't work. It's just a black screen.
My chat face?
You know, you have this nice frame, and there's your face, your fat face, and then there's a chat, a place for the YouTube chat. And it's just a black screen then.
Yeah, I didn't turn it on.
Oh, okay. That was planned.
Yeah.
Did you hear that the Fiverr guys got banned again from
Yeah,
the
they
Indians?
actually sent me a message. I just don't know what I can do with this. I'd like to know why they got banned, but of course they won't tell them. I've actually I've been busy. I haven't been able to get to the whole thing. That would probably have been a good show, but I really don't know where to go because with the Fiverr thing last time, I know why they got banned, but this time I have no idea what they got banned. And my guess is that Fiverr is separating themselves from services like what they offer because of racism. And the only thing the only people they're screwing is the minorities, of course.
Yeah.
Sort of like sort of like the what you call it, girls. The what do you call them? The for the Formula One racing, the grid girls. I think they grid girled them. I don't know. That's a guess.
Most likely. PewDiePie actually gave them a shout out this time at least, so there would be some people trying to get them back at least.
PewDiePie's working on it?
Yeah, he made
great.
He has his thing.
Great. I thought he'd forget about him. I didn't know what to do with it. And I have trouble communicating because they have to use a translator. They follow me on Twitter.
Yeah.
And there's not a hell of a lot I can do about it. But if Poods has some information, if you could fire that video over, I'll take a look at it. And then, maybe we could talk about it a little or do something next week. But I mean, if Poods jumps on it, it's probably going to go places. But I've talked to the guys. I've talked to the Fiverr guys. They have no idea what's going on. And their other services like Jesus still have their gigs. And the actually, I could actually read. I don't think they would care if I show the DMs in this particular situation.
Can we even? Yeah.
I don't think in this particular. Let me call it up. So I don't want to give away any personal information that me and the Fiverr guys may have had. But I think in this particular situation, I don't think they'd care. Fiverr guys. Internal server error. Super. I'm gonna break the golden rule in the Fiverr guys.
Wow, how
They actually
edgy.
sent me a video. They actually did a video.
Yeah, YouTube video.
Okay, I'm gonna show you what they sent me. Let me. I have to do some because I didn't expect to do this. I'm gonna watch the video next. I actually forgot about the fucking video. And we'll capture screen. I should have remembered how to do this. All right, this is what the Fiverr guy sent me. Thank you for getting in touch with us. We are sorry to hear about this. Fiverr is constantly updating and evolving its marketplace for better suit our community and the needs of skilled freelancers and entrepreneurs across the globe. Therefore, this kind of services are unfortunately not in our editorial focus anymore, and we're sidelined from our marketplace. We would kindly suggest that you do some research on what type of gigs do well and are in demand for our buyers. Guess what's in demand? Them fucking dressing in leaves and fucking holding up crazy signs. That's what's in demand. I know it's beyond stupid.
Because they like throw this stuff out, but they will keep like people who will get paid for doing assignment and writing essays for students and stuff like that.
And you know what? Another thing is, I understand they didn't know what the N word was. They didn't know what gas the Jews meant or whatever the hell. They honestly didn't know. They have to go through a translator, and they finish everything with bro. Yes, bro. Yeah, bro.
Well, I talk like that as well with friends.
Well, so you can speak English. They can't. Update our services. Please note the similar activity gigs in the marketplace are the ones that removed you. We assure the process does take time. Well, I guess they're saying they're going after other people too. I contacted that, bro. They told us this. I contact Fiverr support. They send me message. Your gigs are irrelevant in marketplace.
Oh. Suddenly Nikita and Arkham will unsubscribe.
Where's Nikita? No, he's probably asleep. I should have him read this. That would be great.
He's live in Discord chat if you want to try to
Is he?
Yeah. I will at him and try to get his attention.
Get him in here. I want him to read this. I want him to read this. Just for fucking goof.
Yeah.
Put a semicolon in the chat if you want to hear Nikita read this fucking crazy ass letter. Tell him to go in a VC. And you can do it now because I ain't got all day. Got a show to do. That's fucking funny. You sure he's around? It's like midnight over there, right? He should be in bed. Oh, he's coming.
He's
coming?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Give it a second.
Perfect. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. I got semicolons in the chat.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Coming, bro. I'm coming right now, bro. Coming, bro. I'm coming, bro. Semicolon. I said semicolon self-fight. Where the fuck is he? Come on. Get out of bed. Tommy C has asked you to do a great favor.
The mighty famous YouTube man Tommy C.
Yes, Whaler. By the way, did you see my new joystick? On the arcade stream? I thought you did. I thought you were there.
Yeah, I was there. I watched you.
Where the fuck is he?
I don't know. He's coming. Give him a second, you know.
I want to hear him read this. He's actually a pretty smart kid.
Yeah. Sure.
Is that him? Good. Get in here. Jump in this voice chat. You
can drag him up now.
I don't know why I find this so fucking entertaining. He's there. Where is he? I don't see him. Okay.
Invite in the call.
Okay, I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna send you something. I want you to read.
Okay.
And turn down your fucking. I don't want to hear myself in the background. Put some fucking headphones on.
I did. See, that's why I had the problem of coming on.
Okay, fine. Read that.
Okay. Thank you for getting in touch with us. We are sorry to hear about this. Fiverr is consistently updating and evolving its marketplace to better suit our community and the needs of skilled freelancers and entrepreneurs across the globe. Therefore, this kind of services are unfortunately not in our editorial.
All right, I don't want you to read that. Now I want you to read a Fiverr guy stuff, okay? Here's what I want you to. Here's what I now read this. Now read this. This is the Fiverr guys. Read this.
Bro.
Start again. Start again. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Contacted them, bro. They told this. Report this message sent from funny guys. Delete this message sent from funny guys. For support, they send me this message. Your gigs are irrelevant to the marketplace. It means your gigs are not appropriate to for the Fiverr marketplace. Your gig does not fit our current business model.
They say we are irrelevant, bro. Nikita, thank you
We
so
are
much.
irrelevant.
You're the best tech support. You actually, you know what I noticed though when you read, you lost a little of your accent. You notice that when you're actually reading.
I know.
Yeah.
It's getting good.
It's like you turn it on and off. What are you gonna do when you grow up? Are you gonna move out to Europe or the States? You open up a gas station in Wyoming? What are you gonna do?
No, I don't. I won't fucking go to like Europe. Even if I will go there, I will go there to study, not to fucking open a gas station.
Nikita, I love you. We're gonna get you in some acts soon. Thank you so much, Nikita and Wheeler. Thank you. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you. All right, there you go, Nikita as the Fiverr guys. Nikita's a really smart kid, and we love him. We had a little trouble with him this time last year, but I'm glad we worked it out. He's full of good information, and he makes me laugh. The great Nikita, everybody. The great Nikita. I'm trying to think of a fucking oddball. Put an underscore in the chat if you love Nikita. Underscore, please. Underscores. All right. I want to do one more thing. Where's Dave, by the way? Dave. And let's watch the video. Just want to... I don't even know if it's necessary. But, I don't know. People like visual shit. So do I. Here we go. This is as being reported on Fox News.
Both Democrats and conservatives like Max Boot have called Russian meddling in the U.S. election, quote, our cyber Pearl Harbor. And
okay, both Democrats and that fucking conservative, and maybe a few more, probably ones that hate Trump, are idiots. How do you call that? Look what's going on in the background
now,
there.
Democrat Congressman Joaquin Castro.
That doesn't... It killed thousands of people. It led to wars that killed hundreds of thousands of people. It's not 9/11. It was a harebrained idea that only got power when we decided to try to kick the president out of office.
He's from Texas. He's calling Russian meddling, quote, America's new 9/11, writing this. While this current situation is not marked by catastrophic bloodshed, destruction, or debt, we've entered a new generation of warfare on America's national security. September 11 was a moment in our history when a non-state actor effectively identified one of our nation's greatest security vulnerabilities in the airline industry. Let's bring in Fox News military analyst. He is retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver.
Yeah, so I didn't make this shit up. Pearl Harbor, 9/11. I didn't make this shit up. And apparently the Republicans are doing too. Shame on fucking them. You have no idea what war is. There's Ollie North. He's getting old. He went to jail when I was a kid. Colonel North, what do you have to say, sir?
North, good to see you, Colonel.
It's good to be with you.
What?
Cyberbullying's worse than this. You might be right, even though like that's how low on the scale it is.
What do you think? Does that sound a bit over-egged and over the top?
Well, of course it is. Look, at Russian hacking and meddling in our electoral process is nothing like 9/11. And contrary to all the punditry claiming that it's an act of war equivalent to Pearl Harbor, or even that it began in 2014.
Well, let's start dropping bombs on Moscow.
14 ignores reality. Here's a little reality, and you stated some of it. No one that we know of has died as a consequence of the Russian cyber attacks. Number two, for the record, 2,043 Americans died.
You got it. Cold War fear. Bingo. And if you really think about it with the Russian paranoia, like this is 50s Cold War fear. Democrats are using this to regain their hat. They're not trying to get it with good ideas. They're not trying to get it with attracting people to the party or telling Americans they're going to get better. They're doing it out of fear. That's all this is.
Pearl Harbor.
And that's why they're conflating everything with the most, that's why everything gets conflated with Hitler or the Holocaust or 9/11 or anything like that. Everything Trump does is like, and that's why Trump's called a white supremacist on a regular basis. It's to scare the shit out of you. This time, and only this time in my lifetime, doesn't work.
2,996 died on 9/11/01. And the Russians didn't start mucking about in our elections in 2014. They started in 1920. So let's put things a little bit in perspective.
Whaler. 9/11 wasn't fake. The moon, on the other hand.
All this hyperventilated rhetoric.
I remember. Yeah, who's going to remember Cyber 9/11? Nobody. We should get fucking coffee cups. I remember Cyber 9/11. I survived Cyber 9/11. We got a coffee cup.
People like
Put a shot from point logo on the Cyber 11 back. I'm an entrepreneur myself.
Congressman Nadler and others is because it's all about blaming President Trump. And it's more than likely to get in the way of taking action to prevent or at least ameliorate a really serious attack against our electric grid, our pipelines, our aviation system that really will kill Americans. So pipe down and do something right for a change in Congress.
Yeah, you're right, Colonel. You make an important point because Russia has interfered in Estonia, shutting down the internet there, and Ukraine shutting down the power system. Democrat.
Yeah, that sounds like I think the internet being shut down in Estonia affects Americans more than this fucking stunt.
Congressman Jerry Nadler, he too said Russian interference is equivalent to the attack on Pearl Harbor. So this seems to be a new meme right now with
meme, perfect word.
Among the Democrats. Your thoughts there?
Well, look, here's what we really
never forget 7-Eleven.
Need to do.
Nikita would never forget 7-Eleven. He's going to open up one fucking in Florida.
And we need to do this as a nation. So in Congress, create a small, select, special cyber committee. If you will, think of a House Senate version of the committee that went after me back in 1986 and 87. And staff it with real cyber experts. Pull in the best of the best from industry. And prepare a classified, prioritized list of vulnerabilities and a parallel list of measures necessary to address those threats. The recommendation...
Why do all that when you can blame Trump and potentially get him kicked out of office? That makes too much sense, Colonel North.
...will have to address things like the First, Fourth, and 10th Amendment.
By the way, this guy was a Vietnam. Whatever you might think of him, left or right, he's a Vietnam badass.
You know, Colonel, I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but some people say this...
Well, because he's looking at it like a colonel.
This is like, you know, Congress launching a federal debt commission when they should be themselves a debt commission and reining in the debt. I mean, there's all these oversight committees in Congress that oversee Department of Homeland Security. They've got to be staffed with guys to do this. But here's the thing. It's about perspective, right, Colonel? That's what we're talking about.
Well,
stop putting words in Colonel North's mouth, you friggin' chunky broad.
The president is seeing the president's being criticized for seeing the Russian attack as a political embarrassment to be minimized rather than the national security threat it is.
All right, enough. Again, I want to make this clear. This is a national security threat. This is a problem. But on a grand scale of things, it's low in the intelligence. It's going to rise to the top because it's now politicized. But in the grand scheme of things, this is a low-end event. There's all sorts of different levels of spies. Some of them just walk into places and look around and report. You know, guys we can't do anything about. Like, you know, some guy will get hired at AFES over here. Tell us what it looks like. And that's what he does. That's the spy. It's the beginning event of his job. You know, and so they usually put agents in that, but they buy people off. It's not that big a deal. If they know where the fucking toilets are in the fucking movie theater of a base inside Germany. And it happens. And if it's found, it has to be dealt with, sort of like this. But it's not the end of the world, kids. Trust me. Trust me, it's not the end of the world. It's not 9/11. It really is disgusting. It is, as you know, and I'm not saying I've never done it either. Everybody likes to compare everything to the Nazis and the Holocaust and the Third Reich. But if you really think about it and break it down, if you're trying to make your point through all that suffering of World War II and, you know, it's kind of gross to complete like that. And this is gross too. But that's how you get people to move. 10, 11, 9. They can't even come with a name. I'm thinking about selling a cup. I survived Cyber 9/11. Put a hammer and sickle in there. Make it red. It is fear-mongering. Don't get caught up with it. It's a problem. Maybe I didn't say that enough. It's a serious problem. But it wouldn't have been a problem if they weren't trying to undo an election. It would have been exactly what it was after the election took place. A failure. It only became successful after it was over, and one group of people want to overturn legitimate election. And here's the best news. It's not working. Most people think Trump got elected legitimately. Only the people that are just hung up on politics day and night. Friend genocide. Joe Montana, you're on the air.
Oh, hello.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, so that was a great opening and a great little spiel you put on at the beginning there. But I don't think that the main problem with this is the Democrats or the Russians. I think that the main problem is, of course, technology.
Yeah.
All right, and as long as we have this technology, I honestly think
Okay.
that humanity should, as a species, make a conscious decision
Sure.
to move back to this, steam power.
Steam
Okay,
power.
I have no problem with that.
How are we going to
because
get on the internet, man? I mean, you know what? I can't let
there
that
isn't.
happen.
Listen,
So here's
okay,
what
I
I'm
want
going to
you
do.
to think about this.
No. Here's the thing. If you're successful, I will kill you. You know why?
Okay, but-
This is how I make my living. You're trying to take my living away.
Okay, but that's kind of like Gandhi. You know, Gandhi was successful and someone still killed him, but he was still the future.
Yeah, I could smoke your ass. How about that? I got
All
trained.
right, well, I'd kick your ass if you ever.
No.
killed me.
You're trying to take my money away from me. It's like you're trying to steal my horse in the West. That's what
Well,
you're trying
you
to
know
do.
what?
I'm going
You're
to come
going
get
to
you.
have to-
I'm going to get
you're
you.
gonna have to find
I'm
a
going to
new
get
horse.
you. I'm going to get you.
You're gonna have to find a new horse, all right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you
You're going to
right
have to find
now.
a new horse. Go ahead.
I was at my friend's house, right? And he has a TV. I was watching the TV, right?
Yeah.
And it was they were showing the Terminator. Did you know that the first Terminator was made back in like 1980? This is before the internet, before like any of that stuff was
Wow.
like common
Yeah, that's a good
knowledge.
point.
But James Cameron had a vision
Yeah.
of what would happen, and he knew that these computers, like in the 1980s, you couldn't imagine this kind of stuff. Now you can.
No.
Right? This is what we're heading.
No,
towards.
nobody
James-
talked in the 80s how computers might take over the world. No, he was the only guy.
James Cameron did.
He was the only
James
guy?
Cameron did.
He was the only
Yeah,
guy.
he's a visionary. He's a visionary.
He's a visionary. No, there was never a science fiction book written in the 50s and 60s and 70s. It was all James Cameron. Yeah.
Well, listen, there's very few people thinking about it, and you know what? Now we have to confront this, because I'm telling you, if we don't get rid of the computers now,
Yes.
like they're talking about self-driving cars. What happens when those self-driving cars decide they don't want to go to your destination and they drive you off a fucking bridge?
Yeah, it's a
What's
problem.
gonna happen when that happens?
Well, maybe
You know,
just don't buy a self-driving car then, huh?
Well, they're going to ban non-self-driving cars.
They're
I
going to ban
guarantee
them?
it.
Who's going to ban them? Who's
The
they?
government.
Oh, the government?
The government's gonna be run by an AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna bring in AIs to start governing us.
If it's
okay?
Trump
We're gonna be
AI, then
governed by robots.
then it's Trump. But could it be Trump AI, or do we
No,
vote
it's
for the
gonna
AI?
be-
Like, could I vote for George Washington and they take George Washington's AI and they put it in the computer? Could we vote for the AI? You think?
Well, that'd be interesting, but I don't think. See, I think that the aliens have something more to do with that
Ah,
than
yes,
we do.
yes. What do you think?
I believe-
What's their role?
Well, the alien. Well, you see, I believe I've been abducted by aliens. I've been abducted many
Did you
times.
get anal
by
probe?
aliens. No, I did not get anal probe.
What did
they're
you get?
trying to do- what,
Penal
well, I'll
probe?
tell you what they're trying. No, they extracted my sperm. They're trying to create.
That's a
race
penal
of-
probe.
Well, yeah. They're trying
What
to.
did
create
or
a
did
race
an
of-
alien probe give you a blowjob and spit? Is that what you're telling me?
No, they put a needle in your urethra and they suck it out.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Okay.
You better
Yeah, it
off.
is
You should ask for a blowjob.
Well, I wish, but they don't have mouths. All right,
Oh,
they're trying
they
to
don't
create
have-
a race of
they don't have
alien
mouths?
human hybrids.
That's right. Did
don't
you
have-
see the Greys? Is that who you saw?
No, there's 5 different types of aliens on this.
One of
earth.
them's called the Greys,
Alpha
right?
Centaurians.
One of them
Well,
called
yes,
Greys.
the Greys.
The Greys. Were they the ones that sucked it out?
No, it was the reptilians.
They have little mouths. That would have been the best.
No, they do not have little mouths.
Yes,
all right?
they
But
do. The Greys.
The Greys do not have mouths at all. I've seen them before.
You've seen
I've
them.
spoken to them
Greys
in my
had-
dream.
You smoke
All
with
right?
them? Cool.
Yeah, I've spoken to them many times. All right?
Yes.
They've told me the future
How do they talk if they don't have any mouths?
telepathically.
Well, that's pretty cool. It's pretty badass.
It is pretty cool.
But I heard
It's
they're
kinda like-
I heard they're like genderless. They're like drones. That's what I was told.
Exactly. Well, exactly. And that's kind of what they're
Ah.
trying to do here is when they're creating these alien human hybrids, they're fertilizing themselves. The males are fertilizing themselves with our own sperm.
That's hot.
It's actually it's a very complex process
Yes.
that I don't even understand.
It's turning me on.
Right? These are
You're giving me a
beings that-
hairy boner. You know that?
Okay, well, Mr. Harry Boner,
Okay.
this is too much for me. All right?
Yes, it's too much for me too. Yeah.
I'm trying to explain something to you, and you're kind of like not understanding it.
Yeah.
You're fumbling it.
You think I'm blowing it? What could I have
You're
done
blowing
better?
You could be more open-minded to the truth.
Really?
Yeah,
You like Alex Jones?
I do like. I used to watch him, but I don't think he's. I think he's kind of bought in too much to Donald Trump and that kind
He's
of.
kind of
stuff, you know?
soft. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of soft.
Maybe
on
the
that
aliens
kind of
got him.
stuff.
Maybe the aliens got him.
Well, it might be. I totally believe in reptilian shapeshifting.
Do you? Have you seen one?
Yes, I do.
Have you seen one?
Yes, I have.
Okay, then how did you believe in it? You would have known it, dummy. I fooled you.
Well, no. Well, you don't know.
Gotcha, bitch. Fooled you.
All right.
You would have said, I know I've seen an alien ship. I believe in alien ships. Okay. You've seen it before? Yeah, I did. Well, you wouldn't have to believe in it. You would have known it was a fact. Believe.
Well,
you expressed it like it was a faith, please.
I've seen many things on the ships that you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, I bet if you were on a ship, you would see things that I would never believe. But the problem is the ships don't exist, so I don't believe you.
The ships do exist.
No, they don't.
How do you think
they
we got on the
might?
moon?
They might, but you didn't. You weren't on one.
I was on them.
Liz, you sound way too smart. Every time I turn around, they're picking up some fucking poor hillbilly in a fucking farm and giving him an alien probe. You sound way too smart.
No, they pick me up because I am smart. They want my IQ to be given.
Why would they
to
want
the
a smart
alien
guy? Then why do they pick up Billy Bob all the time?
Because
He's always...
They are trying... Okay, what they're trying to do, like I said, is they're trying to create this genetic master race of alien-human hybrids.
They're fucking space Nazis? Is that what you're telling me? Space Nazis?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And they're trying to slowly introduce these
problem.
into the general population. Who do you think British royal family was? All right, you know,
I thought they were the Stuarts, but go ahead.
No, they're not the Stuarts. Actually, they're the
Should've known.
Windsors. All right, but they are completely alien human hybrids. They can't even breed with normal humans.
They can't.
They cannot breed with normal humans.
Well, how come the prince keeps popping out kids every other day like he has nothing better to do? Every time I turn around, his old lady's giving birth.
Because she's probably an alien human hybrid as well.
Wow, Jesus.
I mean, that's the only way. They cannot breed with humans. Those people are so far. You want to talk about genetic inbreeding? You want to talk about the
but
Habsburgs?
I'm sure you're going to. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, the Habsburgs. The reason that they were so fucked up is because they're taking on alien features. All right, this is stuff that they don't teach you about in school books, or they don't teach you about. They, we're inventing, the teachers and shit. I don't even listen to my teachers anymore.
I don't listen to them either.
Yeah,
mostly
because they're trying to create explanations for things that have pretty easy explanations. They just don't want to accept.
No,
basically.
No, I agree with you. It must be hard being you.
I know it's hard being this smart.
It is. It is. Do you have a lot of friends?
I do have a lot of friends. I don't talk to them though.
Yeah. So you just act like a dumb kid when you go to school, but to me, you're gonna be yourself.
Yeah, totally. Because you know what? You can't trust anyone.
No, you can't. No. I used to trust a guy named Raspy.
Really?
And he started hanging out with this guy that fucked retarded girls.
Really?
Yeah. Raspy and the retard romancer.
Really?
I thought Raspy was my friend. And it turns out he tried to fuck me.
Do you think you're a retard?
No. His friend, he started hanging out with a guy that fucks retarded girls.
Oh, Raspy started hanging out with the guy.
The guy who fucks retarded girls. Yeah.
Okay.
And then tried to do me dirty. Raspy tried to do me dirty, and I said, you know what? Maybe if I'd paid more attention to Raspy hanging around with this fucking retard fucker, I could have fucking intervened before it was too late.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, you're a pretty smart guy. How could what should I go from? Where should I go from here?
Go from here, with your show, with your life?
Well, how do I deal with this Raspy situation?
Well, the best thing you can do, is this a lifelong friend or something?
Nah, it was somebody I knew on the internet that I kind of respected.
Okay, well,
somebody I liked a lot. I was more of a fan of him, and why am I speaking to you honestly? Go ahead, just give me an answer.
You're a fool for respecting anyone, all right? Because everyone is out to get you.
So I was just stupid to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah, it was stupid to begin with, all right? Have you ever read Machiavelli? It's like Machiavelli. Everyone's out for their own game. Sick game.
I'm not.
All right?
I'm not out just for my own game. I am out for my own game, but I wouldn't say that about me.
That's what you'd like them to believe. But I know that every
I raised $2,000 for a kid last month. You know that, don't you? You a fan?
Yeah, but every move you make is just another power play in your Machiavellian chess game.
But I had two kids. I care about them deeply. I mean, that's not just about me. I joined the army. That wasn't just about me. It was partly about me.
That's true. I respect you much for joining the army.
Thank you.
Respect you very much.
Yeah, they gave me the anthrax vaccine, and it made me an animal.
Really? CIA gave me AIDS to spread to the colored community.
Yeah. One of that chat if you like fat chicks.
What?
Fat
Do I
chicks
like
are fat chicks. No, retard fucker don't like fat chicks. He likes dumb chicks. He likes lobotomized broads. All right, nice talking to you, Joe.
All right,
have a good
I'll
one.
see you.
Bye. I'm putting you in here for one reason around here is I don't want to hear with your crazy shit. But Dated Rhyme has been just accepted to university today. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, dude.
Put a asterisk in the chat if you want to congratulate Dated Rhyme.
Dude, I've been listening to this alien geezer for like the last 5 minutes, and I've been wondering, have I been drinking yet, or is there like fumes in my house?
Fucking, I'm going drinking right after this, and this time I have money.
Woo!
Oh, I didn't charge my phone though.
Well, go out without your phone, like
You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go down the street and I'm gonna buy a 6-pack, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna start up the arcade. That's what I'm gonna do.
Sounds very good. You said about your joystick earlier. Like, what were you on about?
I'll show you. You're gonna have to see the thing. You're gonna be a little delayed, but I got a Taki Omni arcade stick.
Oh, nice.
PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4.
I'll see it in a second when it comes on the screen.
PlayStation 3. It's a Korean model. It doesn't have the cherry top, which I don't like. I like this old school. It's from like the way it fell from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I do tend to like the button straight across, but they simply just don't make them anymore. This works with PlayStation 4, 3, and PC. And most importantly, it works well with games that have 4-way controls, like those old emulators I used to play. And I played it, and I just played Pac-Man with it, and it feels like I'm sorry, playing Pac-Man and certain arcade games. You wouldn't know this because you weren't old enough, but it just
no, I'm sorry, Charlie.
It's like having this stick just does something. It takes you to a nice place. And I'm gonna go buy some booze, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna fire up the motherfucking arcade.
Brilliant. Just before you finish this, why the fuck is there 200 people watching but only 66 likes? Captain fucking Pancakes here telling you to drop and give me 40 fucking likes now.
Give me some likes. Give me some likes. Give me some likes. I do these shows for you. What happened? Oh, my fucking day. I do these shows for you guys. I could use some likes. Thank you for trying to get me likes, Dated Rhyme, and thanks for being
Yeah, see, it's already gone up, 10 instantly, like, boom.
Yeah. Go in the arcade. About a half an hour. All right, let me get out of here so I can go buy some booze. I'm going to buy some bets.
All right, guys, everybody go to the arcade. Drop a like and a subscribe on that so you can chew when it comes up online.
Yeah, so I have to actually walk down the street and come back, and I'm going to fire this bitch right up when I get back. All right?
All right, dude. See you soon.
Peace. Congratulations.
Peace.
Congratulations,
Thank you, dude.
Dated Rhyme. Get accepted to uni. That's a big deal. That's what we like here. When the fuckheads are successful. It's alcohol time, baby. I'll see you Sunday. See you in the arcade in 30 minutes, baby.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me read the Migos to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.